Hey, this is Patosha coming to you with the next Ask Popo question for you. I'm a little behind because I've been traveling out of town. Now I'm back. It's time to get back with my Ask Popo questions. So the next question I have for you, how to get your players, and this is actually a question for a coach submitted this question, how to get your players to run plays effectively. How to get your players to run their plays effectively. And I have 5 tips for you. I had to write it down, but I have 5 tips for you. Tip number 1, repetition, repetition, repetition. You have to keep going over the plays over and over and over again. And I know as adults, sometimes we can be told to do something once or twice and we get it immediately. But kids, you have to go over it over and over and over again. They just can't get it one time, twice. We got to keep going over it. So repetition, repetition, repetition. Tip number 2, practice on all the available options. Practice on your option A, your option B, your option C. Once again, you would think that kids will know the different options or players would know the different options. They don't. So we have to show them. We have to show them the different options that's available to them. All right, tip number 3. Create drills that simulate the plays by using them in small groups, like 2 or 3 people. And this is something I learned from my college coach. We were a pressing team, and what she would do, we'll have a front of the press drill, we'll have a back of the press drill, where we're just using about 3 people in the drill and going over it and going over our different options. And then the back of the press drill, we'll use just our 2 people in the back of the press to go over there. So that's another option to do. Create drills that simulate what you're trying to do in your play. All right. Tip number 4, film your practices, film your games so your players can see what they're doing right and see what they're doing wrong. Sometimes we tell players that we want them to do this, we want them to do that, but it also helps for them to actually see what they're doing wrong or see what they're doing right, giving them that encouragement to keep doing it again, to get it right over and over again. All right. And the last tip, create a playbook. That's another way to give your team or show your players the different options that's out there. Break your play down, draw it up step by step by step so your players can have something to take home, look at, again, get that visual of what they're supposed to do. All right, so that's my question for question number 2. How to help your team run plays effectively. I hope that you got at least one nugget out of it, something that you can start using immediately. And again, I'm happy I'm back doing this, getting back on video and sharing these tips with you. So I'll see you next week.